Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to continue our discussion with produce in-between drawings for actual scene folder for week 5 to 8. Mga palas teacher say a secondary school teacher 2 of Angeles City Senior High School, Schools Division of Angeles City. So let's start. Let's start with our second discussion of this in-between drawings for actual scene folders. This one is for week 5 to 8. So let's start. Our objectives for today is simply to see the similarities and differences of clean-up and in-between drawings, then guidelines in production of in-between drawings, production constraints, details of exposure sheets based on camera movement, lip sync, single double frames, charts, and other things, then different special effects for producing drawings. So first, explain the principles behind the following animation standards. Okay, so once I showed you the standard, you may post the video, then write your answer in the comment section. So let's start with this one, staging. Okay, you may write your answer in the comment section. Then we have follow through and overlap. And timing. Okay. Write your answers in the comment section. So let's talk about similarities and differences of cleanup and in-between drawings. So let's define first in-between and cleanup. So as we mentioned last time, in-betweeners or in-between, it produces the drawings between previously completed key poses in order to complete the illusion of movement and action. While cleanup is a part of the workflow in the production of hand-drawn animation in which clean versions of rough animation drawings are produced. So basically, they work hand in hand, pero meron silang napakalaking difference. Si cleanup drawing, siya yung final render nung isang pose. Okay? So, most of the time, para magawa mo yung in-between, you have two keyframes, then you will rough draw first action. Okay? So, if there are 5 actions needed to form the movement from keyframe 1 to keyframe 2, then you have 5 rough drawings of that action. Then, do sa rough drawing na yon, i-clean yon. Okay? Basically, ganun ang process. Okay? So, you have your clean up na keyframes, then gagawa ka ng mga in-betweens. Yung in-betweens na yon are rough sketches of how the character will move. Okay? Mas mabilis ang process na yun, then ipapa-clean up mo ulit. Then, you will check kung tama ba yung movement. Okay? Most of the time, doon pala sa rough drawings under your in-between, dapat okay na siya. Dapat wala ka ng adjustment. Kasi, si clean up, pina-finalize na lang niya yung movement na ginawa mo. Okay? So, take note of that. Okay? So, they are very vital to make sure that your characters are proportioned and the movement is fluid. So, parehas silang nagtatrabaho na magkasama. So, lahat dapat pulido bago pa man dumating. Kay in-betweener pa lang, in-between drawing is pulido na before pa pumunta kay clean-up drawing for finalizing or for cleaning ng mga actions mo. Okay? Then, guidelines in the production of in-between drawings. So, I'll be using the same thing that I discussed last time, okay, for in-between. Okay, here's the link for the reference. So, again, check the timing. Okay. So, again, titignan nyo, I discussed this one. Iba't ibang spaces between the in-between charts means different timings for your characters. Then we have Your arcs, don't forget, it is more natural, even though they are uh, non-living objects, to form an arc. So always form an arc in your motion. Then flip order. Again, keyframe 1, keyframe 2, then your in-between na ginagawa to make sure na tama yung adjustments nyo. Then build the foundation for your in-between by using shapes. Okay? Your skeleton should be used through shapes, different shapes. Like for example, is a rhombus, a sphere, so on and so forth. Okay? Because kung hindi maayos ang foundation ng mga shapes nyo, hindi magiging realistic yung drawings nyo for your in-betweens. Then turn off the backlight para makita nyo kung tama ba yung pagkakadrawing nyo. Okay? Then flip the drawing, check the in-betweens. Yung ginagawa natin, flip book para makita nyo kung tama o hindi ang movement nyo. Then rolling and checking the in-between. Adjust na konti ang aking text. So ayan. So papansin nyo, piniflip lang niya to make sure that the movements are fluid. Then turn on the backlight. Then titignan mo na through the light, tatagos yan dun sa pinaka paper mo at makita mo kung tama ba yung proportions. Okay? Because the next thing is isi-shift mo na siya. Titignan mo kung pare-parehas ba itsura kahit na nag-move ang iyong character. Eh, dapat pare-parehas yan. Or else you will have a very asymmetric character pag nag-move. Then do a final check of the in-between. Okay? Again, through flipping it. We discussed this one in our previous video already. So, production constraints. So, we have 3 constraints: schedule, scope, and execution. Okay. I guess you're familiar with Filipino version of Voltes 5. Okay? Ang ganda ng trailer. Okay? But if you will give a daily production of that, daily episode, hindi mo na makakuha ang quality. That's the first one. Schedule, First is schedule. Have you noticed that animation in, let's say, animes are released weekly, not daily? Okay? K-dramas are produced weekly, sometimes monthly. Okay? Not daily. Ito yung mapapansin nyo. You check the quality of Filipino-made series. Okay? Like, for example, yung mga nasa Channel 7. Okay? To get profit, ang ginagawa nila is nagre-release sila ng episode every day. It will be a problem with your quality. Okay? Pansin nyo, yung mga anime, minsan 1 week. Or most of the time, it's 1 week production. But the quality never change unless the production is changed. Okay? One example of this is the Attack on Titan. Okay? Sabi nila, nag-iba ang production, which is true, nag-iba ang production niya on the last season. Okay? Kaya nag-iba yung itsura. It is true to the anime, true to the manga. But the quality of their animation is not changing per episode because they give a lot of time, say 1 week, okay, a lot of time to produce a good quality animation. Okay, expect this one. If GMA would release 1 episode per day for Voltes 5, it would be a big flop. Okay, it would be a big flop. Kasi, that is a 3D animation You cannot produce a good quality 3D animation in 24 hours. Okay? Rendering pa lang, kawawa na ang computer nyo. I've done some 3D renderings in the past. Okay? Some of my batchmates in college invested into video cards during that time. Yung isa nakabili pa siya ng bago, nag-render sila ng 3D animation, hindi natapos ang rendering na sunog ang video card. Okay? If you want a good quality, talagang tataasan mo yung specs. But with that higher specs, the longer it takes to produce your renders, and it will eat up your schedule. Okay? Let's say 1 hour. 1 hour animation. Yan nga yung iba ginagawa 35 minutes na. Later we'll talk about that. Okay? Kung 1 hour yan, more or less kulang isang araw sa rendering. Okay? And it will consume a lot of time. So again, tingnan natin. Ang ganda ng trailer ng Voltes 5 Filipino remake. Okay, let's see if they would continue to produce the same quality. Kasi the last time that they gave us a good quality trailer is Victor Magtanggol. Unfortunately, ginawa nila is daily production or daily release of episodes. Ayan, nag-flop siya. Pumangit ang production. Even though they say that it is a world-class animation, again, even though you're a world-class animator, if you are asked to produce every day, it will burn you up. It will change the quality that you're producing. Okay? Then we have scope. Gaano ba kalawak ang sakop mo? Okay? If we're talking about anime, there are episodes to be followed. Okay? So, may mga anime ngayon, they are mostly 25-30 minutes long, and sometimes it consists of 1 to 2 chapters of mangas. Most of the time, 1 chapter. Okay? That's a good thing with animation. Okay? Ang pangit kasi if it's a 1 hour long, unless it's a movie. Okay? Unless it's a movie. Like for example is if you watch Naruto, okay? Umabot siya ng more than 200 episodes in anime, while the manga is about hindi lang 200 ang anime niya. Manga is around 300 lang. Okay? Because of the filler episodes, dumami. But every episode in the anime is 1 chapter in the manga. Okay? Hindi nila ginawa na isang buong volume, isang chapter. Okay? Again, it will coincide with your schedule. If you're going to produce an anime or an animation within a week, look at your scope first. Kaya ba ng rendering mo na 1 week to kung aabutin ng 1 volume? If not, you chop it down into smaller portions. And if you and this is already proven, kung magkakaroon ka ng cliffhanger, okay, like for example, per chapter na doon sa manga is parang binibitin ka niya to wait for the next chapter talaga, which is what is happening right now in the manga industry, your viewers would continue to wait for your episode. So, mas maganda siya kung tutuusin in your part. Paano ba ang movie? Ang movie naman kasi is sinulat siya outside of the manga. Okay? Sometimes it's an adaptation of a manga. Isang buong novel siya. Okay? Visual novel. Ginawa na lang movie. Kaya 1 hour siya. But most of the time in animation, especially in Japanese animation, 1 chapter, 25 to 30 minutes. Okay? Sa Philippines, ibang usapan yan. Okay? 1 hour. No, it's only 30 minutes pero mas marami pa ang commercial. Okay? So, parang ang pangit naman kasi, unlike in Japan, hindi masyado anong commercial kasi pag nagkaroon na ng anime or any shows nila, hindi masyadong affected ng commercials. Sa atin kasi masyadong commercialized ang lahat. Okay? So, 30 minutes That's good already. Maximum na yan. And then execution. Ito. Paano ba execution mo? Okay. Kailangan ba laging high quality or not? Okay. Kailangan ba laging kasama din to sa schedule, kung tutuusin. Kailangan ba daily ka nagpo-produce? Kailangan ba weekly or monthly? Okay? Because all of which, ito execution, tutuusin, it will affect your schedule and your scope. Okay? If you want to produce an animation daily, then you need a smaller scope. Okay? You need a smaller scope. And you need a lower quality production kasi ang schedule mo is 24 hours lang. And you can, just like what I mentioned last time, you cannot produce a good quality animation within 24 hours. You can talk to different animators, sabihin nila, napaka-imposible niyan kung gusto mo na napakagandang animation within 24 hours. Okay? Then, talk about details of the exposure sheets. Okay? So, an exposure sheet have different parts. So, the first is the action. Okay? This is the part wherein you will label what is going on in the scene. Okay? Part by part yan, column by column. So, unahin natin si action. Doon mo ilalagay, let's say, character jump. Started to jump. Okay? So, motion yan. Minsan may blanco pa. Ibig sabihin, nag-stay sa position. Then, camera. Paano ba yung camera angle mo? Okay? Stationary ba siya? Saan ba siya? Bird's eye view, medium, close up. We have different camera angles to use for your animation. Then, dial or sound. Okay? This one is dialogue. Or kung may sound ba? Kung may sinasabi ba sa dialogues? Conversation 1, dialogue 1, so on and so forth. Okay? Then, columns 1 to 5, layers yan. Layers on the background. Wherein, 1 is the first layer above the background. Kung may background ka, later may column kasi sa background, you have 5 layers on top of it na pwede mong gamitin. Mostly sa yan, sa exposure sheet. But if you're using Adobe Animate or other softwares, kahit ilang layers yan kung tutusin. Okay. Then BG for background. Okay, background layer should be locked at all times or hindi na nagbabago unless the scene changes. Okay. So this is your background. Again, background has 3 distinct parts: background, midground, foreground. Then extra layer if needed lang naman to, or EX. Different special effects for producing drawing. Hey, we're talking about CGI or computer generated imagery. Most of the time, ang gamit dito is chroma. Okay? Later, we'll talk about chroma. Anything that is produced through the computer, like for example, 3D renders, yung special effects, would go under CGI. Ngayon, halos CGI na yung mga ginagawa. Okay? Even the places are CGI. Then, bullet time. Basically, bullet time is, tawag dito, visual effect siya na ginagamit wherein time and space of a camera from the visible object. Parang detaches yung time and space. Okay? Most of the time, meron, if you have an action cam, mostly ginagamit na to as an effect for your video. Okay? Ginagamit to for advertising, films, graphics, sa videos. Possible we'll do this one if magkakaroon na ng face-to-face. Then, virtual cinematography. It includes a variety of subjects like 3D, multi-camera setups. Okay? Most of the time, these are 3D objects. Okay? Pag multi-camera setups, sabihin sabihin, merong malapit, may malayo, merong wide shots, okay? Merong, tawag dito, slow motion, okay? Once sa pinagsama-sama yan, it will create different movements of your subject, okay? if you notice, ang dami, minsan tumatakbo sila nasa likod ng camera, mas makikita mo mag-iba ng perspective, nakaharap na siya, pero hindi siya nag-turn around to the camera because there's a camera in front. Okay, ginagawa na lang nila computer CGI effect yon para mawala si camera sa harap. Then digital compositing, okay, or compositing involves assembly of multiple images to create a final image, screen, display, or movie. Dito na pumapasok yung paggamit ng Adobe Premiere, After Effects, okay, so and so forth. Pinagsasama na, binubuo na natin ang ating movie or animation. Matte painting is a process of dyeing to represent a landscape or distant location. It creates the illusion of an environment that can't be seen in the actual filming location. Ito, na-mention ko to last time, kanina lang, sa CGI, wherein even places are computer generated. So, ang gagawin lang is mga green, mga chromas, then ilalagay na sila through the computer to show that the place is there. For example, if you watch the post-production of the production of Endgame, napapansin nyo, landscaping lang ginawa nila, then chroma na lahat. Okay, or green screen, kung anong tawag natin. Okay. Pero, doon sa final render, akala mo totoong lugar. Okay? That is matte painting. Then, motion control photography. Okay? These are visual effects in motion photography that enables control and optional repetition of camera movements. Okay? So, ang ginagawa to, let's say, in slow motion. Okay? Yung back shot, yung bird's eye view. Inaayos nila saan magandang kunin ang movement. Okay? Then, stop motion animation. Ito yung pinaka-basic sa lahat. Okay? Wherein you are just taking pictures of an object, you move it, picture, move, move. Habang minumove mo, pinipicturean mo, then you compile them to create an animation. Then, prosthetic makeup. Ito, ginagamit to. Kahit ngayon, ginagamit pa rin, even though we have CGIs. Okay? Mga prosthetics, let's say, si Gamora, okay? Even, ano pa ba ang meron? Even, yung mga, let's say, sa mga war videos, yung mga naputulan ng kamay, so on and so forth. Those are just prosthetics. Even horror films na produced in the past, those are mostly prosthetics. Chroma, ito. Chroma key. Also known as green screen or blue screen. Pinaka-paborito na lahat. Okay. Bakit sila gumagamit ng green and blue at walang parehas na color? Basically, pag meron kang green or blue background, you can just highlight it, change it to any location that you want or any object that you want. Any shape that you want. Okay? Because pinapatungan siya ng CGI or computer-generated imagery. Okay? So, green screen, blue screen, chroma key, parehas lang yan. Okay? In the professional field, tawag nila chroma key. Sa atin, layman's term natin is green screen. Okay? Then, what among the special effects you would like to use in your animation and why? You rate your answer in the comment section down below. Then, what do you think among the constraints mentioned in the MOOC is the most influential in animation production? Again, you may post this video and write your answers in the comment section down below. And with that, basically, that ends our lesson. Okay? I hope you learned something about animation with the different topics that I mentioned to you earlier. Okay? So, we'll see each other again on our next lesson. And don't forget to continue to create your CBI projects and your week 1 to 4 activities. Okay. See you again next time, guys.